All right, go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're now listening to Championship on the Line podcast with my co-host Rich, and I'm Alex. And today we have a very special guest here. That was a very special edition of Lucha Talk. This gentleman has done it all. He's been in championship from Hollywood. He was the former EWF heavyweight champion, also two-time EWF American champion, also SoCal Pro Golden State champion and heavyweight champion. He is the baller, the shot caller, the man who makes all the soccer moms holler. He is the neon phenomenon, Anthony Idol, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, dude. I'm that dude who's steadily pushing plates, eating steaks, and getting dates, man.
Oh, awesome. Also, like, I remember like watching you live, you do like all the rhymes. Where did that come from? From doing writing the rhymes?
Just I don't know. I always liked that, and other dudes that I saw, like Superstar Billy Graham, but also, I'm a big hip hop fan, so I can't rap like Max Caster, but I do like to drop some rhymes every now and then.
Okay, cool. So with everything going on, especially last year, with everything with COVID happening, how's COVID been for you, especially going out there and wrestling?
It's really, really different not having a crowd out there. That's been rough. I didn't think it would be so different, but it's really, really different. Now I've done it quite a bit, so I've kind of gotten used to it, but I really can't wait to be in front of people
again. Mm-hmm. And is it easier because there's no crowd, because there's no nerves, or is it hard because there's no reaction from a crowd?
There's never a time for me where there's not nerves. So there's times where I'm more nervous, and there's times where I'm less nervous, and there's times where I'm a little more loose maybe before I go through the curtain, but I don't think it really makes a difference now.
Okay. And also, for the fans that do not know, tell us first, like, how did you get your start in wrestling? What made you want to be a wrestler?
I don't really know when it clicked early that I knew that's what I wanted to be when I, air quotes, grew up. And like every so often as I was going through elementary school, middle school, and high school, I'm just kind of check in with myself. Hey, I still want to do that. Yeah, I still want to do that. So like, even though I planned on going to college from like a young age as well, like I still knew I wanted to be a wrestler. This is probably a little bit before your time, but there was a show called Learning the Ropes, and the star of that show was Lyle Alzado, and he played a teacher and a professional wrestler. He had to hide his identity, so he wore a mask when he was a professional wrestler. But I thought that was a fantastic life plan, so I thought I'd do the same thing.
Awesome. And then also growing up, like what wrestlers were you like a fan of? And also, did you collect like the action figures, stuff like that?
Big time. I still have. I don't have all my LJNs because my LJNs were out of my possession for a little bit there, but I have most of my LJNs. I have most of my Remcos. I probably lost some of my Remcos. I know I lost all my Masters of the Universe figures that invaded my AWA Remco fed. So I had a lot of action figures. I actually looked at all the commercials from 1980 on YouTube the other night, and I had all the toys. My parents really hooked me up. I had the Bendy's, the cage that you could bounce them in. I had Muscle. I had the AWA Remco guys. I had their ring. I had their cage. So I had all that stuff.
And what would you say would be like growing up? Like, what was your favorite figure? Like your go-to figure to play with?
Oh, the Hulkster, easy. Mm-hmm. And probably Greg Valentine, because Greg Valentine was my stand-in for Ric Flair. But then, because I never got the, there was a Thunderlips that was the perfect scale for the Remco guys, and there was a Ric Flair in there too. But that was really tough to get. So I got there was like a bootleg figure from like TJ that you could get that kind of looked like Hulk Hogan, but he was like a little bit shorter than the Remco guys. So it was really tough to get that matchup going.
What is it like, especially now, like figures have evolved so much? What are your thoughts on like the figures are now, the product today?
I don't collect. There was a fan that dropped off a lot of cool gifts for me at SoCal Pro, so I do have some some really cool Japanese figures, but I don't collect figures anymore. I still hit the toy aisle every single trip to Walmart, Target, you betcha. So I pick them up, I look at them, like that new Vader is really sick. So I've seen it.
Yeah.
I really regret not getting the first WWE Brody figure. I saw it at an OCCW show, and I should have bought then because Martine had it. Shout out to Martine. But I didn't grab it, so I do think about some figures.
Awesome. And then and tell us, like what school did you first start training when you first started?
I first started training in Tijuana. I met a professional wrestler at a gym I was working at, and somebody told him I wanted to be a wrestler, and this dude came out and grabbed me at the pool. He was like, "Hey, I fucking hear you want to be a fucking oh, can I swear on this?
No, you
Go
can.
ahead.
I fucking hear you want to be a fucking wrestler, man. So you fucking come with me. I fucking take you to fucking Tijuana. I fucking kick your ass." I was like, okay. So I met this strange man that I did not know in town, and we drove down to Tijuana, and right by the arena, there's a small. At that time, there was a small boxing gym. I think it's still there. It's all been remodeled and stuff now. But yeah, that's where I first started training. I first started training in Tijuana. When I was in Tijuana, I started going to Gimnasio Azteca, which was Medico Asesino's gym in a different part of TJ. So I was training there a lot. Different guys would come through there. Hurricane Ramirez Jr. I trained with Fantomas, who became one of the clowns. So that was where I kind of started, and then I was there for about 9 months. And then from there, I was kind of in and out of UPW training. Yeah.
In training in Mexico, what was the training like over there?
Well, I mean, at that time, you don't know what you don't know. So what did I know? Now looking back, like they were nice to me. I don't mean they coddled me, but they were looking out for me. I didn't get treated like garbage or anything like that. A lot of conditioning. I remember it was really tight space, which you didn't think would be a lot of running. I had to run around all the heavy bags in the boxing area. So you would do that, and then a bunch of different calisthenics drills, jumping over guys, like legitimate leapfrogs. And then we got in the ring. There'd be some more drilling. Yeah. And then, I'm sure you guys have heard a million times how the rinks in Mexico are, of course, different, boxing rings.
Mm-hmm. And like, did you ever get a chance to wrestle in Tijuana?
That was different. Pardon?
Did you get a chance to wrestle in Tijuana?
No, I've never wrestled in Tijuana. I've wrestled in Mexicali. I ended up not having a great relationship with my original trainer in Tijuana, but then again, it was never like, "Hey, I have a booking this Saturday, so you need to get back and go with us." So I really never knew what the deal was down there, but I also didn't know how well I was being treated. I was just a really dumb kid. So no, it's still a goal of mine to work the arena and TJ, the auditorium, as it were.
So then how did it come about you going to UPW? When did that come about you joining over there?
When I was in college, I wrote a lot of letters to every different wrestling school you could, because I just thought it was best to get like the most diverse idea of all of them, what they were all about. So that included all pro in the Bay Area. I went to the original school, Hard Knocks, in San Bernardino. I just went and checked everything out. So I had already heard about UPW. I think I wrote them something earlier on. And then when I was done in Mexico, I wrote them again. And they told me to come for a tryout.
And what was that tryout like?
I broke my foot.
Oh no. And how did that happen?
I was doing a leapfrog, and I think the guy was just stunned by my athleticism and didn't run through, so he kind of held up. So I tried to hold up. I landed on my left tippy toe and broke my 5th metatarsal off my foot.
So then, like after that, how long did it take you to recover and go back to the ring?
Probably about 3 months. I didn't have health insurance at the time. I got an X-ray from like a chiropractor, so it was misdiagnosed. Uh, so yeah, it took a while. I went back home, had a regular job, um, and then I think I coached football for a year, and then I think I moved to Los Angeles, or moved to Orange County rather, and started training at UPW.
Mhm. And then while getting training from there, was there any advice they giving you that you still keep to yourself, either it's about the business or stuff about in the wrestling? Is there anything that they keep with you to this day?
No, not really. It really wasn't like that. I didn't hang out there. Like I would be there for however long I was supposed to be there for training, but I didn't have that. I didn't have that kind of social circle at UPW where I was conversing in anything close to anything like that. So no, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of people that have been successful in television and television wrestling and the movies and stuff like that there, but I don't remember sharing a lot of life advice there. No.
Yeah, whether if it was in Mexico or in UPW, in your early training, did you have like a specific mentor that you always, were looking for advice, or someone you were close to?
I mean, I was driving back and forth with the same dude, the Iron Warrior, when I first started. Those 9 months crossing to Mexico every day. But again, it was just a really different relationship. So he was a little bit older than I was, so we weren't tight like that. We didn't socialize. He had a family and stuff like that, so just different. I'm a lot tighter with the guys that I started training with at SoCal Pro and stuff like that. The guys that I've met, more recently.
Mm-hmm. Going through training and fast forwarding to your in-ring debut, like give us how was it going to those curtains and going for the ring for the first time in front of a crowd? Like how was that experience?
I think I'm just assuming that you guys haven't wrestled. Well, you never know nowadays, man. I think everybody builds up that first experience because all you want to do at first, I think everybody's first goal is to have a match in front of people. I think despite no matter how big your goals are, you have to start somewhere. I don't know. Maybe people are a little bit crazier or obviously more ambitious and wouldn't want to say anything as simple as that. But it's a big deal. Someone pays you to wrestle that first time, so of course you're excited. And for a lot of guys, especially now, they've been to an independent show and they've seen a hot independent show, even if that is 100 people, 200 people, 300 people. And they go, okay, cool. If this is as far as it went, that would be one thing. And then what happens is you get that first one and you get a taste and then you want more and more and more and more and more. You kind of stay in and it's something you can't get anywhere else. So that first one is always fun. I think you always remember it, but I think as you get going, it'll always be special, but you might laugh at yourself after a while. Be like, oh man, I built that up so much, but it's just the Boys and Girls Club, or it was just the Armory. But then again, if you stay in it long enough, and you've seen shows with 10 people and 12 people and 4 people and 30 people that you start to realize those really hot shows with the 100 people, 150 people, the 200 people that are really, really hot, that are really, really with it, or you wreck somebody on some. Oh my gosh, I will always remember just about murdering Super Beetle on some kid's birthday. So to me, it's always about being somebody's wrestling memory, and that's what can happen on those independent shows. You can be somebody's wrestling memory forever because it's their first show, or they're just not a fan, or it's that girlfriend that they took, and 30 years from now they'll be like, I went to a wrestling show once and it was this 5-year-old's birthday and some guy was singing happy birthday to him and the other guy came and tackled him and beat him up all in front of me. I don't like wrestling. That's going to be their impression. So it's always going to be special.
Yeah, that's true. And and also starting out, was there any film that you would watch on a specific guy to kind of get inspiration to use in the ring?
Well, when I was at UPW, I was small. not that I was smaller than I am now, I'm the same dude, but everybody else at UPW was so big. I wrestled much differently. So then I was watching like a ton of Ric Flair. So that just kind of really soaked in at that time. But I've obviously really departed from that since then. So I just always had a strategy because I had that lucha background. I always wanted something to pull out of my back pocket. So I always thought you want to be very diverse with your film study.
Mm-hmm. So, and also like talk about how did it come about you working with EWF and working with Jesse Hernandez, and what's that relationship been like so far?
Well, for me, it was just like it was about kind of full circle thing because I told you I'd walked into the original School Hard Knocks, so I just wanted to cross that off my list. But the other thing about EWF is also it's sort of tied more or less to the old LA promotion. So that's why they call the American title the American title. So I just dig it. I really dig the crowd at EWF. It's different because everybody in those buildings is more than likely the recipient of a flyer from Jesse himself or from somebody working with Jesse that same day. So the people that end up in that building are wrestling fans. It's not what I refer to as the school play draw, where it's just the friends and family of those on the card, and they're pretty much dunzo or just not that interested in the rest of the card. So when you have actual wrestling fans in the building, it makes for a better experience. So that was really my motivation for EWF. That's why I like EWF.
And tell us, how was it for you and to win the first time winning the EWF American Championship? What did that mean for you, knowing that there were so many other wrestlers that went out to do big things and they were champion, like Carl Anderson, Ryan Taylor, guys like Human Tornado? Now what did it mean for you to finally put your name in that list and winning that title?
It's cool. I've talked to some of those guys, but I don't think that they care that I was the EWF American champion. Maybe if I was grabbing a brewski with some of those broskies, then I might talk about that more with them and have a laugh. But that really wasn't the important part about it to me. If I'm being honest, it's more about that. It's a very small link to those guys I was talking about before from the LA promotion. To me, it's more about that small link to Piper and Guerrero and Tolos and Blassie. Like that's really it for me, because there's a lot of wrestling history in Los Angeles and vis-a-vis, the Inland Empire, because those were territory towns. Again, that's like, those are wrestling fans. Like, I really can't stress that enough. Like, there's a reason that I fit there, because those are wrestling fans. Those are people that have the vibe. They get it.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, talking about EWF, what match would you say would be your favorite match that you've been a part of so far in EWF?
Beating Mariachi Loco for the belt was pretty sweet. Other than the outcome, I really enjoyed my American title match with Beetle. I've had some really fun matches out in San Bernardino. The lights went out, so they threw out all the rules in this tag team match. It was me and Tommy Wilson, Adrian Quest, and Andy Brown. So I just started hurling trash cans. And I remember I threw Adrian Quest into the fence. That was a good time. I really enjoyed that. We had a benefit show that was at the large auditorium in San Bernardino, adjacent to the American Sports College there. That was really neat because that cool balcony. I'm big into cool buildings. So if you give me an old building, I'll probably freak out about that. I like that stuff. I think my first match against Prince Rashid Nahar, that was really special. I really dig that much, and I cannot find the footage of it. I know it was recorded. It was a really fun match, really good match, and I haven't seen it. I really enjoyed it, and I'd really like to see it. So yeah. good memories.
Nice. And then, you know, like I said before, like Rich and I, we got to see you wrestle live a few times in EWF, and you know, watching you, you know, you're in really good shape. You know, what's the secret? You know, what's your workout routine like?
Just I've always been into it. I probably started messing around on the weights when I was in the 5th grade. Still have my Hulkamania workouts at dumbbells, my little 3-pounders. Never forget who came from. So yeah, I was just always about it. You know, I had a really good weight program in high school. So 4 years of really solid Boyd Epley training. And I remember if you got through all your core lifts, you could do whatever you wanted. So I'd get through all my core lifts, and I'd either do like 500 sit-ups, or a lot of times I would grab some dumbbells and be staring at the clock and just wonder if I could do bicep curls straight for like 20 minutes. So you can't do heavy, but you know, and I could do it a lot. So I kept on doing it, man. It's really about not missing many days. You know, if you do it more often than not, you'll probably get the results that you're searching for. A lot of people are worried about this necessary amount to work on day one. It's like, dude, day one is day one. Like, day one is probably suck. You know, day one of driving a stick shift, I imagine, is pretty rough. Day 5, not so terrible.
Yeah.
So it's really about doing it more often than you don't do it. You know, I've messed around with a lot of different programs. I've probably mostly always stuck to a bodybuilding type of regime. A lot of bodybuilding magazines, stuff like that. You know, I've done some powerlifting programs, and occasionally do some powerlifting movements. Probably now the only one is the big deadlift. I like that movement a lot. But the secret is showing up, consistency. That's really all it is. I mean, I know that sounds very cliche, and I just eat 4 oranges, bro, and it totally works. But you know, it's about showing up. It's really about showing up. There's a lot of, you know, there's a ton of motivation out there. I mean, shoot, everybody's got an Instagram. But I read a great one the other day, and it was just it's not motivation, because motivation wears out. You know, it's an emotional well that you're not always going to be able to dig into. It's discipline, you know, and motivation will hit you by that second set, you know, and the tunes are going in your ears and the blood starts flowing, and boom, you're there. So, you know, 80% of life is showing up, man. Show up to the gym, get going. You know, it's very rare that you're going to walk out there, total wasted day. You know, that's rare. You know, that doesn't really happen.
And you know, and also, like, you know, tell us about, you know, also going to SoCal Pro. How did that come about? You going there for the first time, and how's the relationship been so far with SoCal Pro?
Well, you know, like, things did not go well for me after that initial training run, because I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I was out of wrestling for a long time. So I just looked into what was close to me. I looked I looked around. Because there had been wrestling close to me before in San Diego. CCW, California Championship Wrestling, and I never trained there, but I remember going to those shows, and so I think I Googled, and SoCal Pro came up. So I had the location, and I called a couple times. I'd taken my nephew to the couple shows, so it looked like they're pretty fun. So yeah, I just showed up to training one night and got started again.
And how was it too, you know, going from your first day back? You know, was it something that was easy for you to transition, or was it something kind of hard for you to get back into it?
No, at that time, it kind of felt more like riding a bike. A lot of it came back really quick.
Okay. And then also, you know, talk about, you know, you had some really good matches over there. You know, you had matches with guys like Brian Cage, Mil Muertes, Willie Mack, Dan Lamley. What was it like working with those guys and have those matches over there?
Well, I think everybody, you know, that's in wrestling wants to have those big matches against those big name opponents to prove that they can hang with the people that are on television or making the big money. So, I mean, so I was pretty geared up. And I think those pieces stand out. I think those pieces stand up. You know, I think if people go out of their way to check those out on YouTube, I think I hold my own. I think I present myself well enough against those guys from television. So I think I hang. I think that's what you're really asking me.
Absolutely. And then like you said, like wrestling big names, is there ever a time like you get nervous, or is this kind of one of those things like, no, I want to prove my point, and it's kind of just like treat it as basically like any other match? So how you kind of treat it when you're facing kind of big names?
If I'm keeping it a buck, like I really wasn't nervous for those ones. You know, the thing with wrestling, you know who your opponent is. So similar to like an MMA fight, I have time to focus and train for that opponent. You know, I can get my ass ready. You know, even with a busy schedule of having other stuff or matches after that weekend, I think that was a pretty busy weekend if I remember right. Not looking at my calendar from that year, but you're focused, and you got your eyes on the assignment. So, for those specifically, pretty relaxed, pretty loose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, as of now, what are your goals? What companies do you want to wrestle for? What guys do you want to work with? Is there any specific names you want to work with?
I'm really not into making big lists. I've been really playing about. I've always wanted to work with the preeminent big men in wrestling before I'm done. And I've met most of those dudes. You forgot that I wrestled Brody King in Covina.
Oh yeah. What about that?
Right. So I just, I think enough people know who those guys are, preeminent big men in wrestling. So, like I want to work those dudes. I want to wrestle those guys. I want to prove that I can hang with those dudes. And I think, I don't know if it'll happen, man, but I'm not worried about whether it happens or not. That's why I'm not in the list. You know what I'm saying? Because you also meet people on your travels and go, oh shit, that guy he's got a little something. So like, I didn't know that I was going to wrestle Malcor, or AKA Sweet Robin Shaw, at a motorcycle show. I like wrestling that dude. That was good times. And Robin Shaw's a big man. He can handle his own. So that was badass. And I didn't know who he was beforehand. He wasn't on my list. But sometimes some badass magic happens when you're not focused on, man. Just be loose, be willing, be vibrating on that correct level where you're ready to rock the house at any time. I got goosebumps going right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your proper vibration. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love goals. Do I want to wrestle in the NWA? Yeah, I want to wrestle in the NWA. Do I want more than just a random Tuesday night? You know what I'm saying? On AEW? Yeah, man. Do I want to go to Japan? Yes. I want to go to Japan, eat noodles and drink beer and bleed buckets until I don't ever want to come home. I'm in wrestling because I like to experience those feelings that make you feel like you ain't never gonna die. That's why I do this. So all those companies, all those goals, yes. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to be a full-time deathmatch wrestler? No. Would I be in the tournament of death? What's the paycheck? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in this for experience. We are only going around this thing once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I'm not big on predictions, but I'll tell both of you that one day they're going to throw dirt over you and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you get to decide how this story is told. There will be people left behind to talk about you if you were talking about. But you are the only person that gives a crap about how you live. This is it.
True.
This is it. Your experiences, your blood pumping through your veins. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's it worth to you? Yeah, man. Like, I really wish like I was into finance and day trading, and that was really my focus. But that's never been why I woke up in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm not that guy. I wish I was that guy. I'm not that guy. I tried being that guy. I've read a bunch of books. I made myself watch those financial TV shows, but it really wasn't sticking, man. You got to be you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's absolutely true. You kind of got me a little bit. Ooh, got me a little emotional a little bit. But yeah, it's true, absolutely. Like you said, we're not here forever, and you got to make things count, and do things, So absolutely agree with you. And so, tell us, when did it come about you going to Championship Wrestling Hollywood and working with David Marquez? What is like working with David Marquez behind the scenes?
David was running the show when I was first on it, I think in I think 2018, maybe in 2017, and then I tore my pecs. I tore my pec at one of the tapings, and that was it for a while. So David's there now, but now Nick Bonanno's the main producer at Championship Wrestling in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So I see Dave, but Dave's not there a lot.
Oh, okay. And what is it like for you, especially, wrestling from the crowd over there, and especially also now wrestling with no audience, but also wrestling, does it get to you like there's TV cameras there and it's like a production, or does you treat it just like I said, like any other match?
Yeah, man. I've often referred to myself as like an idiot savant. So no, I'm not really thinking about it. If I was thinking about it too much, I'd probably screw it up. So I'm cognizant, I'm listening. But there's no help to you being uptight.
I remember one of the first matches I saw you on Hollywood on TV. I remember it was a match between you and Zicky Dice, and it was actually one of my favorite matches. What was it like working with him, and what are your thoughts on that match?
Good time. I mean, I don't know, like it's a match. Sometimes it just means to an end. I don't think we were in there for 10 minutes even. So yeah, I'd like to do it again and kind of really get down and dirty, and probably maybe in a non-camera situation get a little bit more loose. But yeah, sometimes they're just matches, man. I didn't even know I was wrestling in them that day until I showed up.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is there any like specific matches that would be your favorite in Hollywood? Anything that pops out of your mind?
In Hollywood, probably against Andy Brown or Ray Rosas in the PP3 Cup tournament. Will stick out. Maybe Zicky Dice. I really like teaming with the Wolf Zaddies. I was really looking forward to that. I'd like to team with the Wolf Zaddies again. I don't know if that'll happen, but I enjoyed that one. I really like Tito and Che a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And recently, now you're teaming up with Honest John now, and
Hold on, buddy. You're bouncing off the satellites here.
And Howdy Price. Oh, can you hear me?
You have to repeat the question. Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, recently now you're working with, we're working with Honest John now and working with Howdy Price. How is it like working with those guys, and whose idea was, to put you guys together?
I'm not telling. I'm not telling. So deal with it. I'm not telling.
Okay, that's fine. But how is the relationship working with Honest John? How has it, been the relationship, you guys working together as a team?
I know Honest John from EWF. So like, it's you and Honest John. I was like, I'm gonna kick your ass. He's like, I was like, all right. So yeah, I like Honest John.
And Howdy Price too? Is he cool?
I don't think anybody knows how smart Howdy Price is at all. They really should. But I don't want to overstate it. I cannot put it more simply. A lot of people see the hat and they hear the voice and they think that's all a barrel of laughs. Howdy Price is really, 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 really smart. Like really smart. And I don't know, did you play any organized sports? Football, baseball?
Yeah, baseball. Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of times when you're around Coaches have different personalities. There's different coaches out there. There's coaches out there that were young and used to be players, so they identify more with the players that way. There's coaches that are more a grandfather type personality, and they might direct their younger coaches to be the fiery ones, but the players end up really wanting to fight and defend that grandfather type image. Whatever it is, there's always different kind of coaches and stuff like that, but really, really good coaches always hire people smarter than them. So a lot of people are too arrogant to recognize when somebody's smarter than them. They don't like it. They feel challenged against their ego. They don't want to deal with anybody smarter than them. They enjoy being the smartest person in the room. And if they aren't the smartest person in the room, they end up being the loudest person in the room so they can seem like the smartest person in the room. I ain't that guy. Never been that guy. So when I recognize that somebody's smart, on the ball, maybe even a little bit smarter than me, I'm going to check it out.
Oh, yeah. And then, especially, one thing I wanted to ask you, when it comes down to like, especially with, being healthy and and resting, especially with injuries, what do you do to keep yourself 100%? Is there anything you do, like cryotherapy or chiropractic to keep you 100%? Anything you do?
I'm big on the chiropractor. Not that I go all the time, go as needed, but yeah, chiropractor is a big one. Massage therapy is a big one. Staying in the gym, big one. I've always been really blessed flexibility wise. If I wasn't, and I see guys who aren't, I would get busy with that. I think people don't recognize the amount of flexibility needed when you get into extreme situations, i.e. getting bent and smushed up. Being able to get really small and being in those extreme situations will keep you injury free, I feel, for the most part. That's what I was always taught coming up. Like I said, I was always really kind of blessed. I had a little background in martial arts. I was always stressing the flexibility and stretching. So I would say those are the big things. The other thing is being indestructible is a mindset. There is no 100% in wrestling. There is no 100% wrestling. Anybody who's been in wrestling for any length of time is nowhere near 100%. Now, they might tell you they're 100%, and their mindset may be 100%, but physically, no. Physically, this is going to take a chunk out of you. It is not if you get hurt, it is when you get hurt. And then when you get hurt, how are you dealing with it? Are you going to work through it? Are you going to keep training? Or are you going to put yourself on the bench? I've never been one to put myself on the bench. Pretty much always showed up for everything. The only time I didn't show up was when the pecs were torn. And I showed up for a few with torn pecs. I think I skipped the Fresno trip with the torn pec, and then ended up hearing the right pec the next week or something like that. So not big on missing dates. Like I said, being indestructible is a mindset. You just gotta. That's kind of always been my thing, man. What would Harley Race do? Harley Race is showing up.
That's true. And also, for anyone out there, listening, what advice can you give to someone that wants to become a wrestler?
I think, there's like a million things. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard. A lot of old salty people want to tell you that wrestling's too easy and they'll let anybody in. And okay, like it's definitely more accessible to more people. But it's still hard. It's still hard. There's going to be a lot of people that just, I don't care how easy you want to make wrestling, it's not going to be easy. So it'll still weed out people. That being said, I think you'd be dumb not to manage the things that require no talent. So, it doesn't require any talent to lift the weights. Like that's not a big talent thing. That's, like I said, that's a showing up thing. It takes some talent to be Alex Hammerstone and be shredded and dedicated like that. That's probably a talent, but showing up, man. So lift the weights, there's no excuse for having lunch lady arms out there. I'm sorry. You can't hit the biceps and triceps, get out of town. Like that's weak to me. That's garbage sauce. Not everybody's got to be tan, but tanning requires no talent. 20 minutes in the sunshine minimum, a little bit of color. Nobody wants to look at fish belly. And if you can't tone it, tan it. Sorry, I mean, people want to, like, there's a lot of, you can be covered up, but it's still a cosmetic business. Everybody's, I'm not here to body shame anybody, but like, I'm saying, like, If you can't tone it, tan it. That's all about presentation. I'm not. If you're Sheamus, you're Sheamus. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. Getting nice gear. You know, I don't need to see 64 million Raven rip-offs. You know, because everybody's
Yeah.
Sure.
dark and sullen and they didn't get enough hugs from their dad. You know, I don't. Nobody wants to pay $15 to see some dude in gym shorts or jean shorts. You know, it's just my opinion. It's not that you can't be a popular wrestler, but like, can we learn all the rules before we break them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pro bat toss in baseball. I'm all about it. Maybe don't throw it in the field of play. But if you want to toss the bat after you hit a home run, cool. But I don't think you just come up there and start bat tossing after your first walk. You know what I'm saying? You kind of do your thing, and then you get the thing. So, you know, a lot of people point at Cactus Jack or Mick Foley when he was wearing the sweatpants and the t-shirt and the flannel. And it's like, all right, you know, but that's almost 20 years in when Cactus Jack had, you know, tights and a singlet top. And then, he, you know, messed around. He had gear. So some gear, you know, try it.
Yeah.
Try it. If you end up being Cactus Jack, so be it, you know, but try it. I'm not saying everybody's got to be Trunks guy, but, you know, there's a lot of qualified, acceptable wrestling gear, you know, that look around, get inspiration from 3 people, and that way it's not stealing, it's research. None.
Absolutely great advice. And yeah, man, once again, you know, really appreciate you taking the time to do this with us, man. Really, thank you. It's an honor to have you on, man. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so, you know, real quick before, you know, we end things, you know, there's a little quick segment we like to do called Fun Questions. We ask questions for the fans to get to know you a little bit better. Is that cool? We run them off real quick?
Sure.
Awesome. So first question, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Pulp Fiction.
Nice. The second question, what is your favorite music artist or band that you like to listen to?
Too many. It switches up so much, you know. Like my Spotify is like almost all stuff I play and listen to in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of fits and starts, man. I have a very eclectic taste. I could say that much. So like I've been really on a real big funk thing right now. So I've been listening to a lot of the OJs and the Ohio Players, dabbling in a little Prince, and like I would have to look at my new thing right now because I just liked a bunch of bands that were landing in my funk playlist. So yeah, it's varied, man, varied. You know it. So yeah, so like the gym today was like Action Bronson, Meg Thee Stallion, Scott Steiner's entrance music, the Anvil Prom, which is the Conan the Barbarian song. Yeah, always like sexy music for abs. Always like think. You know what I'm saying you're doing them crunches. Usually, don't do the crunches at the end of your workout? Think. Do the crunches at the beginning of your workout when you're not hating your goddamn life.
Yeah.
Right? Then
True.
put on the sexy music because you are only doing these to maintain sexiness. Yeah, your core stability. Shut up. Shut up. And like it's okay to say like I want to look good. So like I'm telling you, Funky Worm by the Ohio Players, like you're gonna be ready to do some abs. You're gonna be ready to do some abs. I'm just saying.
Nice. Okay, the next question, do you have like a favorite sport you like to watch? And if so, what is your favorite sports team?
I was a big football fan for years. So probably still NFL is probably what regular sport that I'm tuning in the most outside of wrestling. Just got the Lakers the other night. Probably not into the NBA much anymore except for playoffs. So it is playoff time, so I'm pretty geared up for that. But yeah, probably NFL.
Okay. And also, you know, do you play video games? Do you have like a favorite video game?
I don't play a super duper lot of video games, but I'm still tooling my way through Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm in the epilogue part. No spoilers, but I'm in the epilogue part, still kind of tooling around on there. Like I have Grand Theft Auto 5. Is that the latest one? But I've never played it. I bought it recently, you know, because GameStop stock. But but yeah, I haven't played it. I thought about playing it last night, but I never got around.
Okay, cool. And do you have like a favorite like foods?
I bought Virtual Pro Wrestling 2
Oh, nice.
during lockdown. So that was badass. And I played through it a couple times to unlock some dudes. I just unlocked Muda. But yeah, I need to go unlock. I haven't unlocked all the dudes yet. I unlocked the outfits and the second batch of moves, but no, not all the dudes yet. I got tossed out of the battle royal and I didn't unlock Andre, so I'm kind of ticked off.
How was that game, by the way? If you could rate it like 1 to 10, what would you rate it? That video game?
I'm gonna be really biased, man. I'm big on that No Mercy style of gameplay, and this is just a little bit tweakier in that it has like a ground grappling and kind of like a ground and pound. It has an MMA grappling system that's also built in. I don't use a lot of those characters yet because I haven't messed with that grappling system yet, but I really love it. I love that there's the tournament play, which is set up, the year-long season play, which is kind of a lot more fun for that N64 style game where you're using your imagination a lot. Whereas like in I'm probably gonna mess it up. No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000, you can only play through the title stories, which is fun, because you're like, I'm gonna make so-and-so champ. But the year-long season is it's a little bit different to get into, especially because you're unlocking the roster along the way. It's kind of more fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, 10. I dig the roster too.
Awesome. So with the next question, do you have like a favorite meal, favorite types of food you like to eat?
Boy, I'm gonna cap on myself first because like I've made a promise to myself, like I gotta eat more ethnic food, I gotta try more different stuff. It turns out like I'm just like, how do you guys make meat? Okay, cool. So like yeah, so it's more of a fits and starts thing. So like favorite meals, steak. But right now I've been frying my own rice a lot. Been on a kick like that lately. I love to cook myself. But you can't beat it. California, going out, forget about it. We got awesome Asian food, Mexican food, seafood.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about it. There's a sweet little Italian spot that I come to think about it, probably haven't been to in a couple of years. Oh man, you can't beat it because we're a port town too, so we have a lot of good Italian food.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then, do you have any rituals you like to do before you go in the ring?
I'm really all about just staying loose. Get a little bit sweaty. Do my rubber bands, get wet, but most of the time jokes. Just staying loose. Okay. Man. Like a lot of times when I was playing ball, like I wanted to be that guy that was just see them pregame, but like that wears me out. That's a lot of emotion that you're not able to place anywhere, So usually I would just be in the back, sitting with my offensive lineman, bullshitting, joking, staying real loose, having a dip. Back then the cheerleaders give us a little bag of candy and stuff, maybe a mini Snickers bar and stuff like that, but just chilling, because I'm gonna dip into that emotional well after I hit the stairs, and I can visualize it now, man. Just helmets on, gears on, gloves are strapped up, hit those top stairs, get down onto the field, and then the goosebumps. I got the goosebumps now. That's when I know I'm gonna dig into the emotional well and get into the game zone, man. So no, I'm real loose. When you see me come through the curtain, that's when the switch is flipped. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm lying. So maybe I'm like deep breathing right before I go through the curtain if we're getting really into the ritual thing, and that's it. Like everything up to it, like the hour before car drive, maybe I might listen to some music if we're getting real into like what's the ritual. But most of the time, probably a podcast because it's typically a long drive to most of the thing. But like if I'm short drive, hour, maybe 30 minutes type of drive, and I might get in more into like the soundtrack of where I'm trying to visualize that night and what I'm trying to get done that night. But most of the time, locker room, loose, chill, super chill. That 4 feet behind the curtain, that's when I probably start getting a little aggro.
Okay, cool. And then do you have any hobbies outside of wrestling?
What time would I have left? No. Did a little stand up.
Oh.
I like getting to the beach, take my dog to the beach, bonus, you get the tan there. Gym. I mean, you guys already talked about video games and stuff. We've been locked inside for what feels like 2 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So no, I mean, it would be like dancing, or going to TJ and partying with the homies or whatever. But I was going to like the craziest water park in TJ. Like that was a hobby. But I'm saying we've been indoors for so long. Hobbies like you watch YouTube videos about dinosaurs, different sit-ups, stuff like that. So hobbies, just probably hanging out with the dog, getting out on hikes, stuff like that. California stuff, I'd like to, I would like to go back to being a Disney freak. That'd be cool.
All right, cool. Sounds good. And then with the last question, if you could wrestle, let's say you could wrestle anyone, a celebrity or a fictional character from a show or a video game character, anyone, you could wrestle, if you have a match, who would it be?
Okay, hold on, wait. So not a wrestler is what you're telling me?
Yeah, not a wrestler.
Huh. I'm gonna go with Ernest Hemingway.
Ooh.
I think he's definitely game.
Mm.
I think Ernest probably works strong style. He's probably down.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna get some drinks afterwards and go carousing. So I like that. So I'll say Ernest Hemingway. He seems like he'd be down for it. I like Papa. That works.
No, it totally works. Awesome, man. It was fun. So once again, thank you again. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us. And also, where can the fans see you, and where can they reach you in the social medias? Where can they find you?
On Twitter, I am at Anthony Idol. On Instagram, I am at Anthony Idol. And on the Facebook, listen, I got the fan page, all right? A lot of people go like the fan page. I'm not busy on the fan page. I have a regular human Facebook page. I probably won't accept your friend request because I hate Facebook. But if you want to message me on any three of those platforms, that's cool. Just don't ask me about my feet. Everybody's tired of that guy. But yeah, at Anthony Idol on pretty much anything. Yeah, that's it. Oh,
right,
Pro
awesome.
Wrestling Tees. Get my Pro Wrestling Tees. I have a new shirt coming out soon, but I have the dopest designs for summertime. Nobody's got better summertime pro wrestling t-shirts than me. Okay. I got Pool Party World Tour all by itself. I got the Pool Party World Tour Anthony Idol shirt. I got the Anthony Idol Incredible shirt. And I got, the OG Anthony Idol Pythons shirt. I have dope shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees / Neon Phenomena.
Awesome. And there you go. And also don't forget to catch them also on Championship from Hollywood. You can catch them on Fight TV and also KDOC. So don't watch Anthony Idol do his thing and on Championship from Hollywood. Again, thank you so much, man. It's been awesome having you on. Very fun conversation, man. Thank you.
No pleasure, man. Hope to see you at a show soon.
Oh, absolutely. And again, thank you so much for watching Championship Online Podcast with Rich. I'm Alex. We're going to see you guys next time on Championship on the Line Podcast.
Peace.